Thank you so much, everyone, for coming today. We'll be starting the service with the ringing of the kansho.
Welcome to this morning's service, chaired by the high school Dharma School class. It's very nice to see all of you here, and welcome also to those joining us online. We will start today's service with sutra chanting Sanbutsuge, led by Miss Sharon Sasaki. Sanbutsuge is on page 44 of the blue service book.
Kogen gigi ijin mugok nyo zen myo muyo tosha nichigatsu mani
主公園女開質音程有脈樹木如来予言朝鮮無林小学第四コル実法開門精進三昧知恵意徳無量修正形人体前年小仏崩壊愚人人の空語外体無明欲ぬ世尊読む二の四子人徳無量空君古代知恵人名光明意祖神道大仙願が差仏在所法可動生じ未不下脱不正上位解任精進如是三昧知恵以上五世特仏不行志願一切空空一切大安決し有仏百千億万無量大小修行五者供養一切使徒小仏不如愚道賢小不逆非如五者小仏世界不不影無種節道光明師匠変師匠国如是精進異人難量量が差仏国土第一五種奇妙道場超絶国如内音二無闘争がと愛民道脱一切実法来生心熱症状意図が国家楽安穏古物神妙是が心象発願の日力少々欲実法世尊知恵無下上量子孫知が信行軽量心思食毒中が行精進人寿不軽ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマ Namandabu, Namandabu, Ganishikudoku, Byodo Seisai Dohom Bodaishin Ojo Andako. Namandabs, 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 namandabs.
Please rise for the recitation of the three treasures, which can be found on page 91 of the Blue Service Book. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves our supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depths of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony, in a spirit of universal brotherhood, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Virabhatu. Namo Virabhatu. Namo Virabhatu. Please be seated.
We will now listen to a Dharma message by our temple's minister assistant, Miss Sharon Sasaki.
Please join me in Gasho. As the sun shines upon the earth, awakening into growth the seeds that lie dormant in the soil, may the light of wisdom shine into our minds and truly awaken us to our ignorance, and by this insight, stir us to strive for a life of deeper understanding and enlightenment. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. So good morning, everyone. Thank you all for coming out to our last regular Dharma service for the year and coming on Temple Cleanup Day. So next slide. When I realized that I'd be speaking on Cleanup Day, I thought of the Japanese soccer team and the fans at this year's World Cup. I also appreciate that you're all here because I understand that the championship match is going on right now. So thank you for coming during this time. So I, along with a worldwide audience, was inspired by the sight of Japanese fans cleaning up the stadium after their match. And this video got 6.1 million views on Twitter alone, so I think a lot of people were very inspired by this.
With many of us, the power action seems much. And remember nothing is not just a sport. It's a moment. It's a moment that gives us a moment.
And so the next slide shows how the Japanese soccer team left their locker room, as you saw in the video also, after they were finished. And people were all amazed, and we considered this remarkable. So yeah, I was kind of inspired and thought of a few Buddhist principles when I saw what the fans and the team did. One is gratitude. The team and the fans truly appreciated the place where they were able to play and enjoy the match, as well as interdependence. They wanted to do their part to clean up because we all depend on each other to share experience like the World Cup or being here, able to attend services. So again, thank you. So next slide. So I have been thinking for a while about what I should talk about today. And some of you may know that in October I broke my ankle and had surgery on it. And I had to stay off of my left foot for close to 2 months. So I could have called this talk today, Walking is Awesome, because it is. But I decided instead to talk about another sad event that affected our family this year, which was the passing of our beloved dog, a Chihuahua Terrier we named Koko. So the title of my talk is Everyone is Koko, which I will explain later at the end. So this is Koko, and this is the day we adopted her from the Helen Woodward Animal Shelter in August of 2011. They said she was a year old at the time, and I remember when we first brought her home, she didn't eat for at least a day because she was nervous and getting used to the new environment. But she soon made herself at home and became an important member of our family. We had her for 11 years. This past August, after a period of breathing heavily, we took her to the animal hospital, but sadly, she didn't make it and she passed away. Next slide. So I learned about this book called The Fall of Freddie the Leaf from Reverend Dr. Ken Tanaka during an online class on Shin Buddhism this year. And this book was written by Dr. Leo Buscaglia. And I realize this is a sensitive subject and not easy to talk about, so I apologize in advance if it makes anybody uncomfortable. But this book can teach us a way of understanding important concepts in Buddhism, impermanence as well as interdependence. So I'll go ahead and read the book. Spring had passed, so had summer. Freddie the Leaf had grown large. His midsection was wide and strong, and his 5 extensions were firm and pointed. He had first appeared in spring as a small sprout on a rather large branch near the top of a tall tree. Freddie was surrounded by hundreds of other leaves just like himself, or so it seemed. Soon he discovered that no 2 leaves were alike, even though they were on the same tree. Alfred was the leaf next to him. Ben was the leaf on his right side, and Clara was the lovely leaf overhead. They had all grown up together. They had learned to dance in the spring breezes, bask lazily in the summer sun, and wash off in the cooling rains. But it was Daniel who was Freddie's best friend. He was the largest leaf on the limb and seemed to have been there before anyone else. It appeared to Freddie that Daniel was also the wisest among them. It was Daniel who told them that they were part of a tree. It was Daniel who explained that they were growing in a public park. It was Daniel who told them that the tree had strong roots, which were hidden in the ground below. He explained about the birds who came to sit on their branch and sing morning songs. He explained about the sun, the moon, the stars, and the seasons. Freddie loved being a leaf. He loved his branch, his light leafy friends, his place high in the sky, the wind that jostled him about, the sun rays that warmed him, the moon that covered him with soft, white shadows. Summer had been especially nice. The long, hot days felt good, and the warm nights were peaceful and dreamy. There were many people in the park that summer. They often came and sat under Freddie's tree. Daniel told him that giving shade was part of his purpose. What's a purpose? Freddie had asked. A reason for being, Daniel had answered. To make things more pleasant for others is a reason for being. To make shade for old people who come to escape the heat of their homes is a reason for being. To provide a cool place for children to come and play. To fan with our leaves the picnickers who come to eat on checkered tablecloths. These are all reasons for being. Freddie especially liked the old people. They sat so quietly on the cool grass and hardly ever moved. They talked in whispers of times past. The children were fun too, even though they sometimes tore holes in the bark of the tree or carved their names into it. Still, it was fun to watch them move so fast and to laugh so much. But Freddie's summer soon passed. It vanished on October night. He had never felt it so cold. All the leaves shivered with the cold. They were coated with a thin layer of white, which quickly melted and left them dew-drenched and sparkling in the morning sun. Again, it was Daniel who explained that they had experienced their first frost, and the sign that it was fall and that winter would come soon. Almost at once, the whole tree, in fact, the whole park, was transformed into a blaze of color. There was hardly a green leaf left. Alfred had turned a deep yellow. Ben had become a bright orange. Claire had become a blazing red. Daniel a deep purple, and Freddie was red and gold and blue. How beautiful they all looked. Freddie and his friends had made their tree a rainbow. Why did we turn colors, Freddie asked, when we were on the same tree? Each of us is different. We have had different experiences. We have faced the sun differently. We have cast shade differently. Why should we not have different colors? Daniel said matter-of-factly. Daniel told Freddie that this wonderful season was called fall. One day, a very strange thing happened. The same breezes that, in the past, had made them dance began to push and pull at their stems, almost as if they were angry. This caused some of the leaves to be torn from their branches and swept up in the wind, tossed about and dropped softly to the ground. All the leaves became frightened. What's happening? They asked each other in whispers. It's what happens in fall, Daniel told them. It's the time for leaves to change their home. Some people call it to die. Will we all die? Freddie asked. Yes, Daniel answered. Everything dies, no matter how big or small, how weak or strong. We first do our job. We experience the sun and the moon, the wind and the rain. We learn to dance and to laugh. Then we die. I won't die, said Freddie with determination. Will you, Daniel? Yes, answered Daniel, when it's my time. When is that? Asked Freddie. No one knows for sure, Daniel responded. Freddie noticed that the other leaves continued to fall. He thought it must be their time. He saw that some of the leaves lashed back at the wind before they fell. Others simply let go and dropped quietly. Soon the tree was almost bare. I'm afraid to die, Freddie told Daniel. I don't know what's down there. It's natural, Daniel reassured him. Yet, you were not afraid when spring became summer. You were not afraid when summer became fall. They were natural changes. Why should you be afraid of the season of death? Does the tree die too? Freddie asked. Someday, but there's something stronger than the tree. It is life. That lasts forever, and we are all a part of life. Where will we go when we die? No one knows for sure. That's the great mystery. Will we return in the spring? We may not, but life will. Then what has been the reason for all of this? Freddie continued to question. Why were we here at all, if we only have to fall and die? Daniel answered in his matter-of-fact way. It's been about the sun and the moon. It's been about happy times together. It's been about the shade and the old people and the children. It's been about colors in the fall. It's been about seasons. Isn't that enough? That afternoon, in the golden light of dusk, Daniel let go. He fell effortlessly. He seemed to smile peacefully as he fell. "Goodbye for now, Freddie," he said. Then Freddie was alone, the only leaf left on the branch. The first snow fell the following morning. It was soft, white, and gentle, but it was bitter cold. There was hardly any sun that day, and the day was very short. Freddie found himself losing his color, becoming brittle. It was constantly cold, and the snow weighed heavily upon him. At dawn, the wind came that took Freddie from his branch. It didn't hurt at all. He felt himself float quietly, gently, and softly downward. As he fell, he saw the whole tree for the first time. How strong and firm it was! He was sure that it would live for a long time, and he knew that he had been a part of its life, and it made him proud. Freddie landed on a clump of snow. It somehow felt soft and even warm. In this new position, he was more comfortable than he had ever been. He closed his eyes and fell asleep. He did not know that spring would follow winter, and that the snow would melt into water. He did not know that what appeared to be his useless dried self would join with the water and serve to make this tree stronger. Most of all, he did not know that there, asleep in the tree and the ground, were already plans for new leaves in the spring. The beginning. And that's the end of the story. So, in the story, Freddie's friend, Daniel, is a wise teacher, like our senseis here at this temple. But Freddie has another important teacher, the leaves that fall off the tree earlier than him. Our dog Koko is like a leaf that fell off the tree earlier, and I feel like Freddie the leaf. Freddie is experiencing the 4 seasons of his life cycle, learning about why he is here, and at the end, he learns how to be comfortable and peaceful when he falls off the tree. So on the slide here is what I wrote about Koko for our All Life Forms Memorial that was in November, so I'll read that. In memory of, with gratitude for Koko, who passed away on August 19th, 2022. My dad gave her the Dharma name, Shaku Koko, which means filial piety. This seems appropriate because she was so protective and affectionate to her dog mom and dad. She always wanted our family to be together. It was most difficult to drop Zoe and Ava off at school, then walk home without them, firmly planting her little paws in the ground. Koko wouldn't have it. We're thankful to have had more time with her during the pandemic. Zoe and Ava left their bedroom doors cracked open so she could alternate between them. She never looked more cozy and comfy than when curled up on her little bed in Ava's room, or peeking up from Zoe's fluffy blankets. Koko showed us unconditional love. She brought out the tenderness in each of us. We're so thankful for the time we had with her. Namo Amida Butsu. Gasho. Sharon Sasaki, Robert Zoe, and Ava Yamamoto. So, what does everyone is Koko mean? So, I'm learning about Buddhism because I would like to feel for everyone the same unconditional love that I feel for Koko. In Buddhism, we learn that everyone receives this unconditional love, which is the compassion of Amida Buddha. Humans, dogs, and all sentient beings just as we are. In fact, since Koko passed, I found myself saying her name around the house. And I feel like it's like saying Namo Amida Butsu, the name of Amida Buddha, when it comes out spontaneously as an expression of our heart. So when we say Namo Amida Butsu, it helps us realize this unconditional love in the form of Amida Buddha's compassion. So with this, please again join me in Gasho. Although my eyes, blinded by passions, do not embraces me, the great compassion never tires, always casting its light upon me. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida.
Thank you, Ms. Sharon, for your message. At this time, would everyone please rise for the recitation of our pledge, which can be found on the sheet inserted inside the service book. Our pledge. Breaking out of my shell, I will share a warm smile and speak gentle words, just like the kind Buddha. Not becoming lost in my greed, anger, or ignorance, I shall think and act with an open mind, just like the calm and peaceful Buddha. Not putting myself first, I will share in the joy and sadness of others, just like the compassionate Buddha. Realizing the gift of life I have received, I shall strive to live each day to its fullest, like the Buddha who tirelessly works to liberate all. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Please be seated.
Today we're celebrating December birthdays, so if anyone here has a birthday in the month of December, please come up to the front. No one else has a birthday in December? Okay, here, we'll go over here then. Please say your name and your birthday.
Zoe, December 28th.
Okay, now we're gonna sing happy birthday to our Dharma friends. You ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dharma friends. Happy birthday to you. Okay, you can take a prize.
At this time, if anyone has an announcement to our Sangha, could you please come up? Also, we'd like to welcome any guests who are visiting our temple for the first time. If this is your first time visiting, could you please stand up?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Nice to see so many of you out this morning. I'd just like to, on behalf of the temple, like to thank everyone for supporting our Mochitsuki last Sunday. It was a lot of fun. It was our first time we have made the sweet rice cakes in 3 years because of the pandemic and everything that kind of did not allow us to have Mochitsuki, but it was nice to see so many of you out last week helping despite the rain. You know, it didn't dampen our spirits, and we got all the mochi made and all of it sold. So if you didn't get your mochi, you'll have to wait till next year. So, but just a couple items here. We had some lost and found items. So if you are missing a jacket, nice comfy jackets, you know, they'll be downstairs in the office. Also today is our temple cleanup. If you're able to stay to help with cleanup, we would greatly appreciate it. And we'll be concentrating up here in the Hondo as we get it ready for the new year. And then the MAs will be cleaning the, and then the Dharma School, the staff and parents will be tidying up their classrooms. So if you're able to stay and help with that, you're welcome to do so. If you're not able to stay, that's okay. No worries. But excuse me, following the service, there will be hospitality down in the kitchen area, so join us for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ralph. I'm Bill. I just wanted to go ahead and make sure that folks know we have a great way to celebrate New Year's Eve here at the temple at 6 p.m. We get to ring the concho bell you heard start the service. And in Buddhist tradition, as happens in Japan this time of year, we're going to be ringing the bell at least 108 times. So we have people doing the math. Sometimes we get to ring it more than once to get up to 108. And of course, we're also very gratified that we have people helping us so that we can share some hot noodles for you on a cold winter night following the bell ringing here. And then if you're interested in Shelter Island for the first time in a number of years, we're able to go ahead and ring the bell there for New Year's Eve. We'll assemble at 11:30, and by the time midnight rolls around, we'll go ahead and be ringing the bell. This is a 2-ton large boncho bell. It's very similar to the kinds that are used in temples in Japan, and you really hear it with your whole body. So it's quite an experience. If you're up and about and you want a non-alcoholic way to celebrate New Year's Eve, please join us. Thank you very much.
Katie Sumida speaking for Donna Club. Thank you to everybody who donated to the warm clothing drive. Today is the last official day for the collection, and right now there's boxes out in the foyer next to the Buddha, as somebody put it, and that will be being picked up to go to Streets of Hope later this week. And also, I forget the name of the actual organization, but their boutique is called Welcome Home. It serves people, immigrants being released from ICE. So everybody gets warm clothing and blankets and designer purses. So if you do have any others you forgot to bring them in. I'm not sure when Arturo can pick it up. We've already taken one big donation to Streets of Hope. Brian Sasaki filled up his truck and dropped that off, and there's a good amount left. So like I said, bring it in and let me know, and I'll see that Arturo gets it. Thank you.
This will conclude today's service. Thank you, Ms. Sharon Sasaki, for the Dharma message and for leading today's service. Thank you, Mr. Ralph Honda, who is coordinating our temple cleanup that will start immediately after the service instead of Dharma School classes and the adult discussion. Thank you, Mr. Bill Teague and Brevin Honda, for executing the live stream and broadcast. And thank you, everyone, for attending. Please put your hands together for closing gasho. As one little candle lights another, so the light of Buddha's compassion will pass from one mind to another endlessly. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Feel free to come up and offer incense at this time.